We recently asked our customers, the employers out there, what they would like to hear in terms of content that may help them in their job searches to fill positions. And one thing that really stood out as the number one thing they need help on would be how to work with a recruiter. So what I want to do is give you as an employer 6 pieces of advice, 6 items that may help you work with a recruiter the next time you're trying to fill a position. Item number 1 is make sure you know what you're getting from the recruiting firm. Make sure you know what you're paying for. No 2 recruiters are the same. They all approach the business differently. They all have different styles, different techniques. You got to make sure that if you're going to pay a recruiter a fee, you know what you're getting. As I've said before, in all the years I've been in this business, no employer has ever said to me, well, John, if we use you guys, what am I getting? What am I paying for? We do that in everything else, so why not do it in the recruiting business? So number 1 is make sure you know who you're working with and what you're paying for. Item number 2, you got to put time into it, all right? You can't solely rely on emailing job descriptions and here, send me resumes. This is a business of interviewing. We as recruiters interview applicants and we interview employers. It's important to get feedback and to get some input directly from the employer. Employers don't just hire resumes, you hire people. And you've got to get a sense for people's personality, their style, their attitude. So you've got to put time into it. Filling a job becomes a job. You've got to treat it like that. There's no quick fixes to it. Number 3, you've got to commit to the hire. Make sure that you have all the approvals in place, that you have everybody lined up that needs to be in the interviewing process. Make sure that you actually commit to it, put the plan in place, and do it. Number 4, follow up, follow up, follow up. With a recruiter, it's very important that there's communication. You got to make sure that if we refer a person to you and you interviewed the person and they're not a fit, we know exactly why, so we don't keep on repeating the same mistakes. Recruiting and filling jobs, beside being a job and work, also needs to be finely tuned. So it's important for us to communicate and follow up. Number 5, have realistic expectations. You have to understand the law of supply and demand out there. You know, good technical talent especially is in short supply, high demand. And it's harder and harder and harder to find people, even with a recruiter pounding the pavement. So when you're trying to fill a job and you have all these high expectations, you got to kind of put them in check because you may have to settle, not for everything, but for the key things. And number 6, as I said before, if you get a resume sent to you, be careful. Don't rule people out just based on their resumes. Resumes are merely form letters used for mass marketing purposes. They're advertisements. Nobody ever, in all the years I've done this job, ever hired a resume. You hire people. So be careful not to rush to judgment just because the resume doesn't have every magical word that you're looking for. I hope these 6 pieces of advice help you in your job search. For more information, go to gloversearch.com.